when I grew up, the United States government was interested in getting people interested in going into science and engineering. And so there were interesting things that happened as a result of that. I mean, I grew up, in the Sputnik era, in which we decided we had to beat the Russians to space. We had some technological competition that we had to deal with. So the government was big on science and math and technology. And, so I attended some special programs in which we were learning about how computers were being taught to use the telephone, and what an amazing combination that would be, getting computers on the phone. And you can see where that has led in the meantime. But we kind of have gone away from that since then. So I don't think there's any real evidence that I'm aware of that the federal government in the United States, at least, has a real interest in fostering the development of new, generations who are interested in science and technology. In fact, I would say the opposite. If you look at people in our lab, for example, a lot of them are from foreign countries. If you look at people who go into medicine in the United States, many of them are from foreign countries. It's like people in the United States don't care about medicine anymore. They don't care about science anymore. There's something about the motivation that seems to be lacking. And I think that could be turned around very quickly if it was pointed out that our entire future as a civilization, and also as individual countries, including the United States, depends on our technological base. We are a technological civilization. We're a technological society. We depend on technology for our existence. If you took away the electrical system in the United States tomorrow, we would all die. Within 1 year, 90% of the population would be dead. And that could actually happen. So we need people to engineer solutions to problems like that. But, that's just an example of how dependent on technology we already are. So what sense does it make to develop a technological society without maintaining the roots that lead to the technology that you are dependent upon? You'd better not only be able to learn how to make new technology so we can have a more fun and exciting and long life, but we also need to have technical competence just so we can maintain what we already have. And I'm not sure that we're doing such a great job of doing that. So it seems to me that what's been happening, what the trend has been, is to hand the responsibility for technology off to a smaller and smaller number of geniuses who are doing transformational things. So we have Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and people like that who are creating incredible new technologies. But how many people like that do we really have? I mean, there are subcultures in the United States, like in Silicon Valley, in which it's cool to be smart. It's cool to be knowledgeable. I mean, there are actually people that gave up their Friday night to come and hear me give a talk about thymus regeneration, on Friday night. So, but that wouldn't happen everywhere, right? So if we could instill that kind of wonder and awe and interest in science and technology generally within our society as a whole, it would solve so many problems. First of all, it would build up our manufacturing and technical base, so we wouldn't have to be arguing with China about how many imports they should have. They'll all be buying stuff from us because we're going to be creating it all over here. But also, I think it would change what we think about. So rather than think about defeatist things like how to deal with poverty, would just make everybody rich, right? Because the key to prosperity is your mind. That's your ultimate resource, is your mind, your ability to think and solve problems and do things. So if we teach people how to use their mind, how to understand the world that they live in, everybody's going to get a lot richer. And so our problems will go down, and we'll replace really boring subject matter that we have to spend our time on nowadays with things that are much more exciting, like how to get to Mars instead of how to get out of Watts or whatever, which is a poor district in Los Angeles. So, rather than dealing with the problems of Harlem, I'd rather have people in Harlem learn how to program computers and write software so that they can do things more, remunerative to them and to society than what they otherwise might do. So I think that it starts at the top in large measure because right now the educational system is funded by the government, probably almost every place on the planet. We do have private schools, but they are handicapped because the people that pay for private schools also pay for public schools. So I think that there could be more uh, uh, justice along those lines to allow people to move the money where the job gets done. So one thing you want to do is you want to break up monopolies that are not responsive to the customer. So in the educational market, you want schools that respond to the customer. So the deliverables there need to be how well educated a student is at the end of the day. Not how much money you spend per pupil or anything like that. It has to be, not for the benefit of the teachers, it has to be for the benefit of the students. And if you set up schools in competition with each other, then they will have to compete. They will have to deliver the product to the consumer, which is the student and their parents, or go out of business. Whenever you set that up, then you get excellence. Whenever you prevent that sort of competition from taking place, you end up with bureaucracy, stagnation, feather bedding, and all kinds of things that don't really produce the best result.